I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your man's Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Let's go. Blue tears, orange tears, orange tears. Let's go. Let's go. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now scream! Let's go. So to quote the great American poet, Grand Poobah, now a lot of people think that this is easy as it looks. Books and books of rhyme concepts and hooks. Stressing and stressing to get thoughts manifested. Let me see. Stressing and stressing to hit the world with a blessing. There it is. That's it. That's it. Hold on for just a second. I got a visitor. I'm back. Unexpected visitor, but that's how it is in real life. This is how we go when we in the studio. All right, so I want to quote the great American poet prodigy, right? Portland. Thank you. You want to be on camera?
No.
They want to see you. Okay. All right. All right. I guess you don't want to be seen. All right. All right. So to quote the great American poet Prodigy said, there's a war going on outside no man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walk around with your head down, scared to look. You shook because there's no such things as halfway to crooks. Right? And I got one more that I want to quote, right, just real quick. And I'm trying to find it because it is the epitome of positivity and being thankful for the tough times, right? It's one of my new favorite quotes. And it is a quote from the great American poet, CeeLo Green. And I'm going to try to find it for y'all to read his quote. Where is it? I'm trying to find it because I don't have it memorized. Where is it? I'm going to try to do it off the top of my head since I can't find it. So to quote the great American poet, CeeLo Green, and I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. CeeLo Green says, "It's just a blessing to my eyes just to see the sun rise. I'm ready to begin. Something about the situation, something. Hold on, let me get it right. I want to get it right. I want to quote him right. Right, let me do it. I won't be able to do it like that. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find it. Aha! Here it is. Here it is. So to quote the great American poet, CeeLo Green, he says, "It's such a blessing when my eyes get to see the sunrise. I'm ready to begin. Another chance to get further away from where I've been, but I'll never forget. Everything I went through, I appreciate the ish. Because if I had went and took the easy way, I wouldn't be the strong person that I am today. Everything that I did, different things I was told, just ended up being food for my soul." Right? And so I say that to Knicks fans Knicks fans, listen, we've been through a lot. Right? We've been through a lot. And so what I want to tell you, man, is let's just take this rough season and not bury ourselves and the negativity and things that could have been and should have been and would have been if we made different decisions. Let's take these lessons learned as one to grow on. Let's feel like we'll be better on an opposite side of this, right? Once this rainy season, this stormy season is over. Right? Let's look on the bright side. Now, what the bright side of this is, I don't know. And that's the reason why I get with y'all every day. I get with y'all every day because I want y'all to help me get on the bright side and see the positivity and stuff. Right? So we just kicking it. Right? Hanging out with y'all is like me going to the game or going to a game. Right? It's like me going to a game because I don't get to talk to RJ Barrett or Julius Randle personally, but I do get to conversate with y'all, right? And so y'all give me feedback. I offer y'all feedback and such, and it makes this stormy season a lot better. Is as say if I were dealing with the season on my own or by myself, right? So let me do tip off. Let me see. Tip off starts with the T. Is the T capitalized? So here is my tip off for today. Thank you. That was the tip off. All right, so let me put this link in the chat so we can get going. Right? Bam. And for those counting, for those counting at home, I am drinking a water, and the snack for today's show is the snack du jour. Sliced cucumbers. I will have popcorn later on, air popped popcorn, not out the bag, but air popped popcorn later on with red chili flake, cayenne pepper. Definitely do that later on. How y'all doing today, man? Sherwin M, what's good? Sherwin M says, is the Portland game make a break? Absolutely not. The Knicks are not a play-in team. Atlanta will have to go 4-10, and the Knicks will have to go 10-4. It's not realistic. It can happen. It can happen. Now, it may not be realistic, but it can happen. Kayode Kid was good. Good morning, Uncle Free. Salute to you in the chat. Must win tonight. Just want to feel good about this team. Knicks for life. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. What I would say about tonight's game, man, is, or I'm sorry, tomorrow's game is everything in sports doesn't have to be the penultimate, right? And everything that had to be the penultimate, sometimes things are just a part of a process, and you have to trust that you're putting the right amount of work in during that process. You have to be confident in what you're doing. Like, you know, like Tibbs running offensive sets for the kids to learn how, even though the vets know these sets are basic. Right? Yo, somebody put out an APB for Kendall Rivera and IQJ and Sima Singh. Somebody put out an APB for them. Tell them Uncle Freezy missed them. Pudge Knight says, top 5 picks soon come. Hey, man, I hope so. I hope so. And JJ says, we tied with them in tank standings. It's a game fans should want to lose. I don't know. Karen Fung is in the building. What's good? Karen Fung is in the building. Y'all say what's up to Karen Fung. Yo, so I just got off of Vibes and Stuff live in the mornings with Chuck Allen. Chuck Allen is hilarious. Hilarious. Ricardo Torres is in the building. Keyshawn is in the building. What's good? C-Mac, what's good? What's good? I don't know if I want to see this team lose 14 in a row. If this team loses 14 in a row, you can't talk to me about a young core. Right? In my opinion, this team has to be at least 4-10 or better for me to have faith in them. If they go 3-11, 2-12, 1-13, no. There is no conversation that I can have that's going to be positive about this team. Right? There is no positive conversations. Right? There is no RJ Barrett is a cornerstone piece. There is no we should trade Randall. There is no Tibbs should be fired. Right? And I know this is going to sound weird, but if we go 0-14, I'm all in on keeping Tibbs and getting rid of the kids. And I know that sounds weird, right? But I'm saying this in a sense where if we go 0-14 the rest of the way. Now, listen, I know the draft pick is important. I know that. I know the draft pick is important. I get it. I get that part. I'm not saying that I don't want a high draft pick. What I'm saying is I lose faith in the – hold on. Yo,
Hey, good morning.
What's going on, guys?
what's good?
How you doing, Freezy? How's everything?
Pretty good. Everything. Let me bring in D'Angelo right quick. D'Angelo just popped in. Let me. Yo,
Uh,
D'Angelo, can you hear us?
You'll probably
No.
come around.
So, Sam,
Mm-hmm.
I am. Hey, that's Chop Low. Hold on. He disappeared. Come on, Chop.
I'm here, baby.
Oh, that wasn't you. That was D'Angelo disappeared. I'm sorry. How you doing, man?
Salute the panel, D,
What
Sam,
up?
the chat. God bless
Pretty good.
everybody. Uncle Freezy.
Yo.
Salute.
What's good?
Maintaining. God bless y'all. I'm glad I caught y'all as soon as y'all started.
Appreciate you, man.
No.
So the Knicks have what, 14 games left?
Yep.
I'm perplexed, and I don't know what to say to that about these 14 games.
Mm.
But I'm interested in how you guys feel about these last 14 games.
Yeah. I want to know how you feel.
I don't know.
And I was also interested to also hear the rest of your questions.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
thought you was gonna ask me something.
So I don't know how to feel about the. Okay, all right. So the
All right,
14 games.
one quick question though, D and Freezy. What is the rest of the schedule like for the last 14 games?
You mean like you want to know the teams? Okay.
Right.
You got a D or you want me to go?
I'm already here, but if you know off the top of your head, it's
Yeah,
just
I got you. It's,
go ahead.
we got the next games. We have Portland, Washington, Utah, Hawks all at home, and then we have a road trip of Charlotte, Miami, Detroit, and then we're back at home for the end of the month with the Bulls and the Hornets.
Yeah.
And in the last 5 games, we have the Cavs, Magic, Nets, Wizards, and Raptors. I'm
Now,
sorry.
that can tell you how
I
you
did.
feel.
Hey, Keyshawn, I actually did just get up. I'm not gonna lie, but I have class in like an hour.
Yeah.
You need some coffee, brother.
So yeah, I don't know if I would say that schedule is like easy because we know with our team, but I would say that they're definitely winnable games.
Some of them are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the whole thing is that for all those guys that are mathematicians out there, I think because Atlanta won yesterday,
Yeah.
and Charlotte won.
Right.
So I think that means they picked up a half a game, both of them.
Yeah, mathematically, it's a
Yeah.
long shot. Like things would need to happen besides the Knicks winning for us to get the spot that some people want us to get.
We're 6 games behind Atlanta, and we're 5.5 behind Charlotte.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
With
You
14
said
to go.
5.5, so we you guys think we could make the play-in, or I mean the 20
You're
play-in?
5.5 just to tie for the 10th spot.
excuse me.
Just to tie for it, we're 5.5, and that's if Charlotte doesn't win any more games.
Yeah, because that's the thing you got to consider, Choplo. Like, it's not only about us winning; it's also about how much they're losing.
Right.
And right now, Atlanta's on a 3-game win streak, and Charlotte's on a 2.
Even the 6 to 10 spots, each team from 6 to 10 is on a win streak right now.
Mm.
So we're catching people who are winning games consecutively.
Yep. So Freezy, back to you. I want to know these questions
Yeah, I'm waiting.
because some of them were good yesterday, and it was sad that we couldn't really get to expound on it and dig deeper into it, and we know why. But if we can do that today, that would be great.
Yeah. So the first question, the question we left with was, is this organization bringing in the wrong type of athletes?
Okay.
That was the question we left with. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
As far as talent acquisition, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay, so that's what you mean. Okay, I thought you meant by a level of athleticism or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
I was trying to see.
Right. Because think about this: the Knicks' best two players don't like the best two players on other teams. Right. Usually there's a mix, like one skill guy and one athlete, or two very skilled guys, or two athletes.
You mean to like balance it out?
Yeah. But us, we have two bully ball guys.
Yeah.
So it's like a conflict of interest.
The only athletes you have on this team, in my opinion, are Sims, Obi,
Mitch.
Cam Reddish, and Mitch.
Right.
And potentially, you know, I guess you could say McBride for his size. He's athletic, but he's not off the charts athlete.
Right. He can do stuff. He can dunk with two hands.
Yeah, like for his size, he's athletic, but he's not like uber athletic like the guys I said before.
He's not Ja.
Right?
No.
Of course not.
Right.
So you mean RJ and Randall are the two bully ball guys?
Yeah, they're not athletes.
Right.
Well, let me not say that because Randall's actually pretty athletic for his size. He's just not like off the chart.
Yeah, he's not uber athletic.
Yeah, he's not an athletic specimen.
Yeah.
He's not vertically athletic.
Yeah, he's
Everything
not
else
vertically
he can do.
gifted. Right. Him and RJ aren't vertically gifted, but they're like athletic for their position, I guess.
Yeah, because at 250, Randall can do a lot of stuff, brother.
Yeah.
And that's very true. So think about it like this.
He can't handle the ball though. He doesn't know how to dribble and effectively, I guess. But okay.
I mean, for his size, he's not bad though at handling the basketball.
He's actually a pretty good ball handler for his size.
And we mean, and so your critique is ball handling in traffic.
Gotta be
right. A lot of people have problems handling the ball in traffic, let alone a dude 250.
But I mean, listen. I know people have instincts, and when they playing with the ball and like them spin moves and like spin into traffic, the way I don't think he's fundamentally like other players, if you will.
Okay, but we talk about his athleticism or his, as an athlete.
Right,
compared to other athletes, right. So, okay, Freezy, I think there's an easy way to assess this, and I think just look at the top 20 teams that are either in the playoffs or the play-in.
Right.
See how many athletes they have compared to our squad.
Right.
Yeah. And it's overwhelming.
Right. Overwhelming that we are not close.
Nope.
Right. So there is one of my levels of frustration.
Right.
One of my levels of frustration is we don't have an easy athlete that can get easy buckets during the course of a game. Like we don't have a guy that could pick off a weird pass, and go down the other end and dunk.
RJ Barrett could be considered that or no?
No.
Cam Reddish? No.
Cam Reddish has the potential to, but he hasn't shown that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, because he hasn't played enough.
Yeah, he hasn't been out there enough.
And he's hurt now too. Okay, forget it.
But Cam could do that though, Chop. He just, like we said, he just hasn't had the opportunity really to show that.
Right.
So Sam, how do we make up for that? Do you just start playing Obi and Cam more, or do you start looking for those guys?
You got to start looking for those guys, obviously, and I'd say, and that deals with the scouting and things like that, drafting these guys, because I don't necessarily know if they're those type of guys are out there in this free agent class unless they just are looking for them. I think that's to fit those profiles, those type of guys, you need to try to scout and try to draft a few of them or bring them in for the summer league team or something. Because I'm not sure if we're able to sign uber athletic guys for a cheap contract in the free agency.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry.
yeah, because I want to answer your question. I think it's both. I think we want to try to matriculate what we have now with that athleticism that's there, like a Cam, Obi, or Sims, or something of that nature, right? And we also want to keep on looking as well.
Okay. Because the only thing better than a great athlete is two great athletes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Would you consider? I thought about this right after we got off, and I wish I had time.
The Matrix caught him.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because he was just talking about time and then he froze.
The timekeeper.
I mean, couldn't Quickly be athletic too, or I don't know.
I wouldn't consider him an athlete. I'd just say he has a quick first step. I would say that, but overall, I'm not saying he's athletic.
All right, so and D, because D breaks everything down accordingly, and I'm looking at the Atlantic Division right now in the paper. You got Philadelphia, Boston, Toronto, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Then us. Each of those teams have athletic players, right?
Exactly.
Is what we just talked about too. I don't know, but then Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, Orlando, Milwaukee. I don't know. Cleveland, Indiana, Detroit.
They all at least have one that has the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Chop Low. This is what I want you to answer for me. Right? Would you trade Obi Quickly and a draft pick or two for Miles Bridges?
No, I want to keep the young boys.
For Miles
Bridges is a young boy.
Yeah. I know we should have drafted him instead of Knox or one of the Bridges, but no, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
What was the proposal?
I just don't want to give up.
It was Obi Quickly and a couple of picks.
Right. In a heartbeat, I wouldn't even think about it.
It wouldn't even
Obi and Quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give us some picks, but out of Obi and Quickly, I want to keep one of them.
You know he's better than both of them, though.
Right.
You got
put together.
Yeah, you gotta take that. You can replace one of those guys.
I might have to.
And you know what that immediately does, right?
It makes us better or more our wing. What?
No, it makes Randall and RJ Barrett look so much better immediately, right? Because what happens is you have, and bear with me, I'm gonna use D is Ballin's word, right? D is Ballin is too much to say. I'm gonna just say D poetic. Why do I always D is Ballin? This is too much.
What about Randall instead of Obi though?
No, but the thing with D poetic used the word a couple of months ago. Potentiality, is that the word?
Yeah, potentiality. Yeah.
Randall and RJ have the potentiality to be such great passers when there is a person to pass to, right? When there is a person that takes an average pass and makes a home run play with it, right? Right now, they don't have that on the roster. They don't have a guy that can just take for instance, at the beginning of last season in training camp, Julius Randle got into the pinch post and was passing people open, right? And his assist totals were not, I'm not gonna say sky high,
right,
but they were like 7, 8 a game coming out of training camp last season, right? Because he could pass people open and people could make plays once they got passed open, right? This year, when you have sticks in the mud, so to speak, where people's feet are still when they receive the pass, you can't. You bring in Miles Bridges, and you see R.J. Barrett's playmaking go through the roof, and you see Julius Randle's playmaking go through the roof. Then now, when you add Miles Bridges, you can't clog up the paint. You know what I'm saying, when R.J. goes there, because if you do, and Bridges is cutting from the corner, cutting baseline, the lob is there all game long, all game. Whereas the normal guys that you have in that wing spot with RJ, Quentin Grimes is not an elite leaper or not explosive. You know what I'm saying, to finish plays at the rim. You know what I'm saying, off a good pass, right? And so I think that opens up the floor for Julius and for RJ, right? And also what that does is, now that you have a slasher on the floor threatening the rim offensively at all times, it slows down the closeouts on the three-point shots. And I know RJ shoots a lot of open threes, right? But I think with that said, you can see an uptick in their three-point percentage, Randle and RJ. The reason why our offense is down is because both of their three-point percentages are down from last year.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're not taking high percentage shots.
No, it's still dribble penetration. To sucker the defense.
Nobody's threatening the rim.
Right. Yeah. Stephen brought it up. I was going to bring it up too, guys. I saw it this morning. Jonathan Isaac is out for the season. So, he's been out for 2 seasons straight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rehab.
And they have a Franz Wagner.
Yeah. So I say you take a swing and a shot, but it's got to be cheap if you do it.
Because you're taking on his contract too. He's still getting paid.
Hey man,
it's not outrageous, D, but he's still making sufficient amount.
What position?
Is he really? I'm gonna check it out right now.
What position does he play with us?
Small. Well, he would play, I guess.
He could 4 or the 3.
Yeah.
What do you do with Cam though? If you do that, do you just say, Cam, come off the bench for me next year?
Well, Isaac, if we do that, go that route, we can implement him in slowly and have Cam start and see how that goes. Because best case scenario, if Cam does really well, you still have another weapon with Jonathan Isaac, and you're playing limited minutes to start, and he can start rebuilding himself back up. I think that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's currently he'll be making 17.4 through 2024 through 25.
That's nothing.
Wow.
So he's essentially on a 4-year deal for 70 mil that he just signed 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the time his contract done, that will be the first year or the second year of his prime. Interesting.
What? Okay. Before we do that, how about we do this? Explain to Knicks fans what they would be getting in a Jonathan Isaac from Orlando, and explain how him becoming a Knick helps the Knicks get better, and how he will develop more in New York from where he is right now.
Yeah. Well, that second part's a little tricky, but the first part, no problem. He's a really long, very good defender that could stretch the floor and has shown glimpses of him being effective in putting the ball on the floor,
right?
Reading the defense. When Orlando was making those playoffs, he was a big part of their perimeter defense and them stifling, because don't forget, Evan Fournier was playing on the court with him at the same time. And one of the reasons why they were able to hide Evan Fournier was because you had a Jonathan Isaac on the court that can guard just about anything outside of a strong 5.
Right.
So, he brings a lot to the table.
Ladies and gentlemen, when D Poetic said anything on the court, he meant anything moving. No. Anything. Jonathan Isaac could legit guard Mitchell Robinson to Emmanuel Quickly when he plays the Knicks. He could go, and I say Mitch because Mitch is not a strong center, right? He's an athletic center. He's probably strong, but Jonathan Isaac can guard Mo Bamba to Cole Anthony, right?
Yeah.
This kid, Jonathan Isaac, legit has defensive player of the year potential, right? That's how good he is defensive before the injuries. And it's like an out of sight, out of mind thing because the kid's been gone for so long because he got injured in the bubble. Remember, he got injured right. Was it the bubble or was it right at the bubble?
No, he got. I think I
Right
want to
before
say he got
the
injured
bubble.
before that. Yeah, I think he got injured before the bubble.
Right. He tore what he tore like a
ACL.
Okay. All right.
But the thing about it is too with Isaac, not only are you hoping and praying that he comes back to his self, but he's also another Kyrie situation. So you have to deal with him not being available every night.
I think that's a simple fix, and plus they're ready to drop that anyway, because of the Kyrie situation. I think the biggest question mark for Jonathan is very simple. How is he going to look after 2 years of not playing?
Right.
Because you're
Will he
paying
still
17 and a half. That's Fournier type money. So he has to be,
right, right? But the question is that could he still move his feet like he did before? Could he still attack the closeout decently like he did before? It's a matter of that. And I think if he could do those things still, and he has had the 2 year rest, and he's been able to rehab correctly and stuff like that, I think it's a shot worth taking because what else do you have? As you say, Freezy, I will quote you. A lot of beggars like to be choosers, and we don't have talent of that capacity, especially defensively. And you guys had, we're paying Evan Fournier 17.5 this season. So why would we not take a swing and taking a guy that could potentially be your best on-ball defender and cause havoc in 4 positions defensively on a night-to-night basis?
And by
You
the
don't think
way,
he can guard some? You don't think he can guard some fives?
Yeah, some like small fives. But he ain't guarding Joel Embiid,
if you're
bro.
doing small ball,
Nobody's
like
guarding
That's
Embiid.
okay.
if
Yeah,
you're
nobody's
asking
guarding.
for a small ball lineup, yes, you could technically put him at the 5 because he is 6'11". So
Yeah, like he's not going to guard Jokic,
No, he
like
guard
stuff
Jokic.
like that, right? Yeah.
No, so he won't guard Jokic, and this is the thing I want people to imagine. So he can't guard Jokic, right? But guys like Donovan Mitchell, he smothers them, like
Yeah, he can
in
punch
like
them.
in that Matisse Thybulle type way, where he's so tall and long arms and legs and all this stuff. It's like trying to run through the thickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the last season he played, which was 34 games in that 2019-20 you were talking about. I know guys don't understand advanced analytics, but for guys that do, when your defensive PM is at 3, you're a major factor out there on the defensive end when your defensive BPM's at 3. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So he's a difference maker defensively, without a doubt.
Can you imagine him if we had a defensive minded coach that could put him in positions to thrive, bruh. A Jonathan Isaac and Mitchell Robinson on the floor at the same time with the Miles McBride and the Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if a team would be able to score on us, bro.
But I will say this though, I do agree with some people in the chat. Orlando would have to have a very low price for him because this is a guy who's making 17 and a half. He hasn't played in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He's only played over 40 games once his whole career.
Right.
So
let me ask you a question, Freeze.
Oh, you go ahead.
I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
No, you go. No, you good. I was just saying that.
Would you give up Obi Toppin for Jonathan Isaac?
Man, I thought you had something difficult, man. I'm sorry.
No, but I said it like that because that's how much of a no-brainer it is to take a shot at it.
Layup. That's a layup, bro.
Now, I know that without risk, there's no reward, but you willing to take that risk?
I'll take the risk.
Heartbeat.
I'll take the risk if they want, especially if they would want to add one of their young guards. That would entice me even more to talk more about the offer than just taking Isaac straight up.
The thing with the Isaac too though is in Orlando a lot. So it's my fear for RJ Barrett when you have young kids that are chosen to have so much responsibility on the floor. Sometimes they get hurt because they have to do their stuff and to make up for others at the same time.
Mm.
It's the reason why Mitch used to get hurt so much. Well, not hurt so much, but used to get hurt or early on in his career. Like the dude is legit having to guard the rim and the 3-point line in one possession. You know what I'm saying? So you like, why is Mitch having to swat 3-pointers, and he's your center? What's your perimeter defense at? Right?
Great point.
And so the thing with Isaac is you don't see, and so it's not like Isaac is just running around and falling down clumsily. Like the plays you see him get hurt on, these are effort plays. Right? It's not like, he got hurt in practice and the details are sketchy, like an Obi Toppin pull hamstring. Obi didn't pull a hamstring in a game. These are sketchy detail behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan Isaac is legit an elite defender.
Yeah.
And he can be acquired. The thing about some teams give up early on talented guys. It happens. Yeah. Philly gave up on Ben Simmons. Philly gave up on Markelle Fultz, right? So young guys are available to be had for the right. Sacramento gave up on Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh man, tragic.
Right. I mean, come on. Teams give up on young guys early. Let's not act like these things don't happen, or we're speaking to another universe, yeah. Right?
I can see Orlando giving up on Isaac this
offseason. And he's still a puppy. He's going to be 25 next year.
Yeah, I can see them doing that, especially with the people that are available at the top part of this draft. I can see them drafting one of those guys like a Banchero or Smith potentially if they get that high of a pick and replacing him anyway.
Yeah,
so I have a feeling Orlando's going to get the number 1 pick, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Jabari Smith or Banchero, somebody like that. Or even Chet, I could see potentially going there.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think the biggest thing, like, people say, oh, why we talk about this is, Jonathan Isaac hasn't played it, blah, blah, blah. But the question is that when you look at this roster, who else has this type of upside?
Right.
That we're looking at one, two guys.
And we're complaining about guys who are hurt. We have a guy who's only played in about 4 games all season who's getting paid almost $10 million. Right. So at least this guy has some type of, cachet or some type of relevance to his name. Like, what does Noel won? What type of names does Noel have?
Right. And Sam, the part of that to me that's funny is we complain about the talent that other teams have, and we don't complain about how we busted in the lottery year after year. The reason why we talk about other people's talent is because the ones we chose were bust.
Yeah, that's right. For the most part.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Because if Knox, Frank, and Obi were all hits, we wouldn't be talking about Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, and so to your question, right? Back to your fourth question, is that we do need a lot of this to kind of discern meaning whether to know one way or the other what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep.
Right.
But the point is that we do need some of this on the roster severely.
We need some. Because what hurts us, I think, and this has been my thing with the Knicks for about 20 years. We don't have, aside from the mellow years, we don't have easy bucket getters. Like, we always grind it out, man, and every shot is contested. And we look back, Knicks fans can speak to every shot that was taken. Like, Randall missed the mid-range in the third quarter because such and such. But if we had athletes getting out in transition, dunking in 3-on-1 situations, going up by 7, you know what I'm saying, something like that, whereas each possession wasn't grounded out, we wouldn't be having these conversations.
And then we have these guys who are like picky. Like, we're saying no to Isaac, but how many versatile players do we really have on this roster?
Maybe Cam.
You're literally. Who are you gonna tell me? Cam, who's out for the season? Oh no, they'll probably do me one better. Alec Burks. I really don't want to hear that.
And what's funny about Cam is that Cam has, I mean, he's been injured every single season he's been in the league. So I don't want to hear none because what's this? K Rush? Yeah, because K. Look, I'll break it down real quick.
Dudes
Right?
really be like aging these guys. Like they're not as old as y'all be saying sometimes. I don't want to be that person.
Look, in Cam's first year, he only played 58 games, and then in 2021, yeah, 20 to 21, what was that 26? Okay, 49, 34, and then okay, and then 34 with Atlanta this year.
Right.
And then he only played 15 with us. So he's only played 133 games in 3+ seasons.
But complain about Zion only playing 83.
And then I saw somebody in the chat say Isaac is 25. He's clearly stated and listed as 24 years old. His birthday is in October. It's the
And
same
25
thing.
is old?
It's the same thing y'all do with Obi, and y'all say Obi's 27 every time. Like, we know Obi's age. Like, stop trying to age the player
That's
like
my fault.
more than
My
he
fault,
is.
man.
Now, the one player that you guys probably didn't expect to be his actual age is Jericho Sims, who's actually the same age as Mitchell Robinson. How many people knew that? Probably not.
Me, I knew that, but yeah.
Want to go to the next question, please?
Yeah, I got.
Do you think we answered that thoroughly?
About the athlete part.
Yeah.
The athlete part is tough, right? Because the athlete part is tough because ideally the thing that you want most is NBA skills or basketball skills that translate to the NBA,
mm-hmm.
right? That can keep you in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, let me bring in Stafford real quick. So at the same time, Stafford down.
What time is it?
I would like to introduce.
We need a beat.
Hey D, I'm kind of scared now, bro, because it seems like people 24 are like really old. So I'm kind of scared. I'm 2 years away. I feel like I'm I might be ancient a little bit. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, you're old fart, bro.
Dang.
And it's like, yo, like when you're 27 is the beginning of your prime. So if you're 25, you're still young.
It's okay, Unc. I didn't know I was old, man. Ron, maybe I'm getting up there. It's crazy.
What's up, fellas? What's up? Good morning to the Blowing Tears Network.
What's up, boss?
To the Knicks
Salute.
fans. I love the conversation I'm hearing, man. Y'all wake me up on a good one. You know what I mean? On a good one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I like what y'all was saying about Markelle Fultz, man. I felt like he was a guy we should have went on after when the Sixers made him available. And I think that was their biggest mistake when they let him get up out of town. That's when I was like, wow, I can't believe they moved off of him. And it's not inconceivable that Orlando would move off of him because they got Cole Anthony. I can see that. I can see them making a move and letting him go.
Right. And Suggs.
Oh yeah. And Suggs, exactly.
And so Suggs is a combo guard, but he's definitely not a 2. He's not a 1. I don't know what. So what is he? What is he really?
He's got to play the one. He played the one in Gonzaga.
He's just a baller, man. Yeah. That's what I classify him as.
He played the one in Gonzaga a lot. He has played the one a lot in Orlando when he has played. I agree with you, Freezy. He's not a 2 in this week.
Especially at his size.
And how tall is Suggs?
6'4".
Well, he looks bigger than 6'4".
Yeah, because he's big. He's a big dude.
Freezy, you know who his cousin is?
No.
Don't
Terrell
tell me
Suggs.
Suggs from Baltimore
Yeah,
Ravens.
it is. It is.
Oh wow.
Really? T Sizzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that guy used to strike nightmares in them quarterbacks, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like the idea of getting him. And y'all brought up another name I heard y'all talked about.
We were talking about Isaac. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Versatile, big. Yeah, he got an injury history, but he got a lot of length. And you know what? Memphis really giving us the blueprint of where to go on how you build a team, man. In this modern day of basketball, man.
Right.
You gotta have length, and you gotta have guys that can do multiple things. You can't have no one trick pony no more in this league, man.
No.
That ain't gonna get you far. And if they're one trick pony, they better be elite at what they do.
I mean, I'm not against Fultz or Isaac if we're trying to bring him in on a low risk, high type deal.
I'm gonna tell you, I saw an article that made me laugh this morning. Article said that Emmanuel Quickly is the point guard the Knicks have always needed. That the Knicks been looking for. You saw that? Something to that degree.
That was an article.
Yeah, that was an article. I couldn't believe
Who in the fudge wrote that?
I said, I don't
Was
know.
that the Daily News?
That ain't a Knicks fan.
Was that the Daily News or the Post? Who wrote
I think
that?
it might have been the Daily. I think it might have been the Daily. I was like,
let me know so I don't have to read anything they put out anymore.
Right.
Whoever wrote that, man, I was like, hey, I said, but I'm gonna tell you, we had an interesting conversation, me and Soulfinger yesterday, man. And I told him, I said, man,
how's Soulfinger doing, man?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He real busy, man. Got a lot going on and stuff. But he doing fine, man. But me and him had a conversation, and I told him, at this point with this team, man, I'm trying to be aggressive to get this thing put in the right direction, man. And I'm gonna say something this morning. A lot of people ain't gonna like, but Obi Toppin, I like his skill set. I like his game. But if I got to in order for me to get a point guard, I got to move off of him. He's gone.
Gone.
And I'm gonna tell you why he's gone, because we're going into year 3, man. We're going into year 3, and to do him a favor, more than anything, it's gonna help both parties, man. Because as long as Julius Randle is here, Obi's not gonna get that kind of time, ladies and gentlemen. So it's gonna be in his best interest, because he ain't getting no younger neither. You know what I mean? To get him in a better situation, man. Matter of fact, I would trade him. I would trade him to Orlando for Fultz.
Yeah.
Here's the one worried about getting all these guys, Isaac and Fultz, all these injury-prone guys. It's very important that you have a contingency plan.
Yeah, you gotta
have that.
Because although we do want to take the swing, because one, we need the talent, and two, there is still upside with these players. We definitely want a contingency plan. That's why I said with Jonathan Isaac and Cam Reddish, that might be able to work, even when Cam's a little injury prone himself. But that might work, because if Jonathan does go out and Cam does get healthy, at least we still have Cam.
Yeah, I like that idea too. And the thing is the reason why you go ahead and do that is that you just look at where the Knicks have been, man. It's time to make bold moves, man, and stop sitting on our hands, man. Ain't nobody gonna give us a point guard. We're gonna have to go out there and take one.
Right.
And the way you take one is you make somebody see that you serious about getting one. And to D's point, what they could do is they could go get a very good backup veteran point guard. If you're gonna get Fultz, man, go get you a good backup, solid point guard, man, like a Hill. What's the kid Hill that was down there in San Antonio and Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, he over the hell though.
Yeah. Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. You go get a backup. Even Goran Dragic, I was surprised watching how Goran Dragic was playing with the Nets, because I thought he was about finished.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't think he could still even move like that.
For me, I agree with White Falcon, who has actually been putting this in the chat a couple of days. Trey Jones is somebody I had liked, and I thought it would have been a low risk, but now I don't know if San Antonio is going to be as willing to move him now. But that's somebody I would have looked into the Knicks possibly getting at point.
Yeah, that's why his name was mentioned in trading deadline.
So my man in the chat
shout out to Chuck for that.
Calm is Lami, I guess. How you pronounce his name? He said Obi for false isn't a bold move, it's a stupid move. What you know it's a stupid move is having a power forward on your roster that ain't playing that you drafted with the 8th pick in the first round. That's stupid.
Yeah, okay.
At least you get a guy that can play.
That's gonna get time. That's gonna get time, Ron. No, a guy that's gonna get time.
Yeah, a guy that's gonna get time at a position of need instead of having a guy at a redundant position that he can't even get past Taj Gibson.
Because, Ron, remember, we talked about this. We said, we don't want another, and I'm not comparing Obi to Kevin Knox, but we don't want another Kevin Knox situation where we keep the guy on the bench all these years, and then when you finally want to move him, you can't get anything for him. So
and that's exactly what this is looking like.
Yeah, so Obi now, he still has some type of potential upside, and some teams might want that. So you might be able to move him for something rather than wait till year 4 and you get nothing.
And I see somebody say Fultz is a bust. That dude is not a bust, man. Injury don't make you a bust.
Right.
Injury does not make you a bust.
He just had 11 assists in 20 minutes the other night
before he got injured.
Yeah. No, it's fine, Ron. To some people, Zion's a bust because he's hurt, right? Everybody's a bust because they get hurt. It was crazy.
Talent is what the lack thereof is what make you a bust at whatever position. If you get drafted at a high pick, J.R. Reed for the North Carolina Tar Heels, if people remember him, he was a bust.
Yeah, he played for the Knicks. Remember, he played for the Knicks.
Stayed healthy, but never lived up to all them covers he was on.
He was too slow.
Never lived up to it.
Yeah, he was too slow down low, man. Yeah, man, he should have been the next Charles Oakley, but
I couldn't believe what I saw when he came in the league.
You know who else was a bust that played against J.R. Reed in school? Danny Ferry.
Danny Ferry
was exactly.
And they played against each other in school. You know what I'm saying? So
Eric Montross.
And just back to Fultz real quick, he actually had 11 assists the other night in limited minutes against Philadelphia. Did a real good job of seeing the floor and getting guys good in the right spots and reading the defense, which means he's been doing his film homework. So
yeah, and remember last year that kid was coming on, man.
Yeah,
he was coming on before he got hurt.
He came into the league as a guy who could play make. So let's not act like he can't do that.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but I want to go back with Obi because he probably can't thrive under Tibbs' system. He probably could do somewhere and flourish better under another system for his gameplay and his style of play.
That's a great point. He don't fit with this coach and this team. He don't fit. Julius Randle has made Obi expendable. Plain and simple.
Ron, I'm gonna just say this. Hey Sam, can you do the super chats for me to make sure I don't miss them?
I'm gonna be here for I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to head out in 6 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, because I got
you.
All right, 6 minutes, Dougie. Fresh your own.
So the thing. Okay, so here's Uncle Freezy's take on Obi. He trash. He's not an NBA player. He's a dunk contest participant. No matter what team he goes to, he's going to be trash and a dunk contest participant. Because in order to play in this league, you have to have heart. And Obi Toppin is soft with a capital T, right? The Obi thing, let's just move on from Obi, man. I'm frustrated not with Obi Toppin as the person. I'm frustrated that every time the Knicks pick 8 or 9, we take a guy that can't play in the league, and Obi is one of those. Right? With Obi, you have not seen the Obi Toppin 15 rebound game. You have not seen the Obi Toppin 5 block game. You have not seen Obi flagrant foul somebody. You have not. Only thing you've seen from Obi is dunks and jumps to the basket. And people say, well, if he had a point guard, if Obi played with Chris Paul, but guess what? If any of these Knicks played with Chris Paul, they would be better. Right? Chris Paul went to the Phoenix Suns and made them better. He went to OKC and made them better. He played in New Orleans. He made them better, right? We can't say if Obi played with Steve Nash, he'd be 18-10 because Steve Nash would. Man, look, I would trade Obi right now for DJ Augustine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now you going.
Freeze, I was moving for a point guard, but I was moving for DJ.
Yeah, you
now DJ would be a good backup for me.
I want DJ Augustine. I think the perfect scenario for us going forward is to acquire TJ McConnell and DJ Augustine and rock that rotation until we can get our point guard of the future in the draft, and then groom that person and let that be the rotation going forward. It'll be like what Miami did with Mario Chalmers and Norris Cole, right?
Oh, no, that.
Yeah, it was trash, right? But it was effective.
You know, we had a conversation the other day, Freezy man, when I was talking again the Soul Finger man, and this thing dawned on me, it hit me, and you brought his name up this morning. The last time the Knicks signed a closer was Carmelo Anthony.
And they didn't even really sign him.
And they moved. How much they moved for that guy though?
When they initially traded for him, you know, think about it, that's the last time. That's the last time that they went out and signed. And when they re-signed him, you know what I mean? And look how long ago that's been. And the Knicks haven't had a closer since. All these games that we've lost, these close games, been the reason because we didn't have a closer, man. We didn't have a guy that could close.
Randall allegedly, Ron, he's supposed to be a closer. I don't know.
No, and that's the problem.
Only thing Randall good at closing is the door when he leave out the gym.
Don't get me started on that. Salute, guys.
and I like what Randall has given us after that first half of the season. This half of the season is the Randall I thought we would have saw all season. And if we would have saw this, our record would have been a whole lot better. And I'll be one of the first persons to admit it.
Hey, so I'm gonna head out, guys. I gotta head to class. It was nice hanging out with y'all. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a blessed day.
Peace.
Hey Sam,
all right, Sam, check care of yourself.
Hey Sam.
Yeah.
You know the Braves broke my heart yesterday.
I know.
Until I saw who they got in return.
Yeah, I'm trying to live with it, Ron.
Only thing I say about that move, Sam, is I see the Braves as being forward thinking, man, and they're not getting caught up in the moment of going and say we're gonna go ahead and keep Freddie being all that nostalgic stuff, and you get this man a 6-year deal, and then you regret that deal 4 years down the road. So I like that thinking, but I hate that Freddie had to get out of town, man.
Yeah, me too. It pains me, man. It hurts.
Bittersweet.
But at least he got his ring while he was here. That's what
he got his ring, and then they brought another. The kid is from Atlanta too.
Yeah, he's not that far. He's about 20 minutes out, and he's 27, and he's got about the same production. He's a Gold Glover, so we're expecting good things from him. It just hurts to see Freddie leave. That's just like a Yankees fan seeing Jeter retire.
Hey, and the last thing, Ronald Acuna is back.
He's back.
You saw his batting practice yesterday?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready for the season. Now that's
my bad. Y'all Braves talk was making me throw up.
No, you good. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Freezy, I was the same thing too, bro. I'm like, hold up, is this Atlanta Braves channel?
You know, when you win a ring like that.
I know Sam in the area, so I know he loving them Braves.
Freezy, go to your fifth question.
But I'm gonna head out. Y'all be easy now. I'll see you.
All right, Sam.
All right, peace.
All right, Sam.
All right, just real quick, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. He says enough with Halliburton. We make him out to be great, and Sacktown traded him. They also drafted Mitchell right after him and chose him over Halliburton. I think they chose Fox over Halliburton, right? And thank you for your generous contribution. Halliburton is still losing at Indiana. Yeah, they're
rebuilding. They're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
So just want to say just something real. So in terms of the questions, we have, let me see. So we have 3 left and not 5.
Okay.
Because we touched on a couple.
Right.
Here is one. So I talked about who has more upside, Cam or RJ. And then the other question I was going to ask, is RJ a real piece? And we talked about that, and that. So I have 3 questions left. And here is a question that I want to ask y'all, and I want y'all to be honest. Should we trade Julius Randle, and why? And not with the emotional take. Don't tell me Randle trash and we should just get whatever we can for him, right? What I want to speak to is basketball reasons.
Yeah.
Why Randle shouldn't be here, right? And so here's my take on it, just real quick. My belief is if you keep Tom Thibodeau, then Randle has to go, right? And if you keep Randle, then Tibbs has to go. One of these guys has to go, right? Because it's not going to work with the current dichotomy is not going to work, right? You can't have Tibbs standing up as soon as the point guard crosses half, he's screaming, Randle, Randle, Randle. And I saw that in the last 4 games. Tibbs legit, the point guard is coming across half, want to do something, and Tibbs is yelling, get the ball to Randle. Right? Or shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Tibbs helping the defense.
Yeah, Tibbs can't stay. He's got to go if that's the case.
Oh, Uncle Freaky, Tibbs got to go now, huh?
No. What?
I'm gonna tell
You
you,
want him to stay. You want him to stay for another year.
I got a compelling reason why Randle got to go. Why you move him? Deez, help me out with this. How old is Julius Randle?
It's going to be 28 next year.
Yeah, 28 years old.
Next year. He's going to be 28.
Okay, and I think we all can agree the Knicks are back to year 1 of a rebuild. This thing is back to year 1.
We're not too sure of that.
Not even if we're in year 1, the word rebuild with the Knicks is the reason why you have to move him.
All right, let me hear what Ron saying.
What you trying to do going forward is not going to fit. It's the same reason why we had to move off of Melo, even though Melo was a little bit older. But Julius at 28, his timeline, he has to go. He has to go, and all the other antics, we all is well documented. We don't even have to talk about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just timeline purposes, and if you want this team to eventually be RJ's team, the way it's looking, but RJ got some work to do, but still, Julius Randle age timeline with a team that's rebuilding don't fit.
Hey, Uncle Ron, question. If we rebuilding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why McBride not started? Why Burks playing 34 minutes?
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have to ask Tom Thibodeau, man.
Yeah, and Browns is in the G League. He was in the G League too, so back and forth.
That goes to Freezy point even more. Because if that's the case, you need to be evaluating these young guys and finding who's gonna stay during this rebuild and who's going to
evaluate them. You can evaluate them without starting them, man. Miles McBride is not an NBA starter, bro. Not right now.
But Uncle Freezy, he need to start to get his game right.
Wait. Why does Randle need a star?
No, I agree with Freezy. He's not a starter.
He needs
minutes. But when you play him, you need to let him play at his position.
Right.
And that's a problem. He's not a starter. I agree. Right now, he's not a starter.
Oh, okay.
And I love McBride. Everybody know that. D's balling, you know it. Everybody know it on this channel, man. I love that kid, man.
Right.
But right
and
now,
he's still young. He's still young, Ron. He's still young.
Yeah, he's still young, but the coach
he's
and
the
that's
same
another
age
thing.
as John Morant.
You give even more reason why for what Freezy just said about Tibbs needing to get out of here. These young guys need to develop. Because this is a rebuild. This is clearly a rebuild.
Wait, so Ron, to your point, we missed out on trading Randle before the trade dedeadline.
We should have. They was going to lose if they tried to trade him.
Oh, okay.
So it was best to hold on to him and let him rebuild whatever, after rebuild his credit, so to speak, with the league.
So my question is that what are the signs that you believe are there that this coming season is going to be the start of a rebuild?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay, wait, hold on. Just give me a second. Hold on. Because Tom still has 5 years on his contract, right? RJ Barrett does not have to get the extension this year. They could actually wait to after the rest of next season. in order to give them that extension yet. The young guys have not developed the way that I guess we hope to a certain degree. So when my question is, what are the evidences that you see that all of a sudden next year is going to be the start of a complete rebuild?
Okay, so the evidence, and I'll go back to last year because it's pertinent in the discussion. 4th seed in a rough year. We all know with the virus and everything. Stadium half empty, but then you revert. You go to this year, and right now you was 12th in the East, and we all can probably say right now still, I don't care how hard they've been playing, the Knicks are still one of the worst teams in the NBA. I think if you look at top 5 worst teams in the league, the Knicks is in that category. And there's no light at the end of the tunnel right now with this team. And so that's why Tom being hired for what they were trying to do, it showed a mixed way of trying to build this team. When we got that 4th seed, them guys should have went all in, like I said yesterday, and got nothing but veterans to support Tom. But they didn't do that. They should have went and got the right kind of veterans. But when you look at this team, the fact that the Knicks are so far away from even being in the playoffs, because that playing, I don't even look at that as anything. We so far away from the playoffs. This team is in rebuild status, man. And this team is slow too. That's another thing. It's just clear to me, man. We were the 12th seed in the East. That don't scream as a team that's on the come up.
Okay, next year,
but you still have. It's okay because I'm cross-examining Ron. So no, I am.
Go ahead. I like what you said.
That with Burks and Noel and Rose as well, those are guys that are still under contract next year. And for some of those guys like Burks and Noel, their contracts do not become appealing into the trading deadline. And the trading deadline doesn't come to more than half of your season is over. So and it's going to be very hard to move it before then, because as I just said, when contracts expire, they only become attractive during the trading deadline. So I don't know. I'm still waiting for a piece of evidence that shows that work, because you have to understand, when you rebuild, you have to have something to rebuild with.
You got RJ. So, start with RJ.
Start with RJ.
Sure.
RJ and Mitch.
Jericho Sims.
But we're not sure if Mitch gonna stay though. That's the only thing.
I think Mitch is gone, but either way, you can still keep Mitch because Mitch is still young. But Julius Randle at 28 with this team. Where this team is at, this team is so far behind, man. We are not. This will let you know it's a rebuild too. Do you think a couple moves gonna make the Knicks be one of those teams in the East that really can challenge somebody, or even be in the playoffs?
It's not even about that. I'm talking more contract, because you just signed Julius Randle to a 4-year, 117, and that contract kicks in next year. And I'm just saying that one of the hardest things to do in the NBA is to move a contract that you just signed and it's on its first year.
Well, let me tell you, from what I've heard, all these pundits outside of us, the guys in the note, they said that Julius Randle contract is not a hard contract to move.
That's what they said about a lot of other contracts.
Of what Julius Randle does. But them other guys you talking about, Derrick Rose, Alex Burks, them guys had, I think, like you said, them guys on expiring deals. So they ain't something you're going to look to for long term anyway. So even if you got to attach a second round pick to get them guys out here or take a player in return, you do that.
But that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to give somebody an expiring contract and have to give them a draft pick. And you want them to give you it because they want the expiring contract.
So answer this. Alex Burks could have been gone at the trade deadline. Teams wanted Alex Burks. Teams wanted who else? They wanted teams wanted Fournier. He could have been gone. Tom wanted to keep them guys because he still wanted to make that push. Them guys could have been gone. Don't think them guys' contract was unmovable, because that ain't true. The Lakers was a heavy discussion trying to get Cam, and they were going to attach.
Ron, but Ron, that's the rumor mill. That 90% of the rumor mill is not true. I actually think those contracts are very hard to move, and
Hey, I
there's a
can
lot
tell
of
you this,
teams
my
that
son
are
is
not
out there in
attracted
the
to
LA
those.
area. That thing was very real. My
Okay.
son live out in that
It
area.
would have happened though, Ron. It would have happened.
Right,
It was
it would have
very real.
happened.
But the thing is, so you looking at this team, you tell me this team now in rebuild mode? Looking at this team, I ain't talking about the way them contracts, just looking at the team. Let's separate that contracts from this team.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me that this is a team that's ready to compete in a couple of years with the right moves.
We can't do a proper rebuild because Tom in the way. That's why we can't do a proper rebuild the right way.
To answer your question, I think we should have rebuilt it 2 years ago, and I still think that we should be rebuilding.
I agree with that.
Right, so we're on the same plane with that. I'm just saying that for it to be a shoo-in to say that it's definitely going to be a rebuild next year, I think there's a lot of variables in the equation that may counter that because of contracts and guys having to stay for half a seasons or stuff of that nature. So
they're just gonna have to get creative, man. But they need to go ahead and rebuild this thing. It's obvious.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. If we rebuild next year, right? That's what we're supposed to do, right? Rebuild next year. Are we keeping Tom? Are we keeping Tom?
No.
If we're gonna rebuild next year.
No.
Well, that's another contract we can still have to pay for.
Tom got to go to a veteran-laden team that's ready to win, man. Or
and also,
but I think, listen, I think Tom Thibodeau is a defensive coordinator. He's not supposed to be a head coach. He should be on a staff.
100%.
That's fine.
100%.
Yeah. But the thing too you got to understand is that if you want to rebuild, you might want to do it in 2023 because you're going to have a much better crop of young players to start with than what you have this year, especially that we're looking towards the 10, 11 spot, 9 spot, and we might miss out on some good players. So you want to keep that in mind as well.
Like I said, they just got to be creative as a front office, man.
So I would say this just real quick about the Thibodeau thing. So I think you guys are wrong about Tibbs, right? Because you don't win NBA Coach of the Year twice in a 10-year stretch if you're not a quality NBA head coach. You don't have a 60% win percentage in the NBA if you're not a quality NBA head coach. Is he the right coach for this team? Probably not. But just to say he's a defense coordinator, I don't think that's fair. Joe Dino, thank you for the super chat. Joe Dino says, I think they'll give it another go into the trade deadline. Then they'll rebuild if they have to. D has a point. Okay.
No, I can't see that next year. I can't see the same people on this team next year. Like, some of them guys have to go.
You got to look at the contracts, though, CWC. You got to look at the salary cap and stuff like that. And
I would waive them.
I hear you, but you have to understand, though, you lost investment. So if you're investing in something and you put money into it and you just waste it and get nothing back in return, that's bad business.
Yeah,
but D, we lost anyway if you think about it.
What about amnesty?
If you
that's gone. You can't amnesty players.
Yeah, because Joakim Noah don't come up into this season, right? And then
he's still getting paid.
Yeah, this year he is.
And the thing about it is you can't just waive them because now you can't trade them and you're still paying them. And now they're going to play somewhere else, getting a minimum contract, and you're still paying them.
Yeah, they're still
paid by two teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the ideal situation is two of your rookies step up to be solid NBA players. Two of your young players outside of RJ, like that young core that we hold high, like we hold them up like the baby lion in the Lion King, like we hold our young core up like that.
With the sun shining on them.
Young Simba.
Yeah, but we don't have a young Simba. Like Miles McBride is not a young 19-year-old Kobe Bryant, right? And I keep going through this thing, and people think I'm hating. I'm not a hater.
Freezy, I think Grimes out of that three we brought in here, man, it got the potential to be something special, man. I ain't saying great, but I think
you're making Freezy's point.
Very, very good. I mean, let me clarify that because Grimes is a very good player, man. I hate that he got injured, but Grimes is out of them three. Grimes right now looking like a bona fide NBA player.
But Ron, okay, let me
so
ask
much
you
so
this.
that he's about to push Fournier out to the bench.
Let me ask you this: Would you trade Ray Allen, a young Ray Allen, for a young Kobe Bryant?
Would I?
Yes.
At that time?
Yes, remember, both came out. They came out in the same draft, right? So this is not a age thing or a team thing. They were drafted in the same draft. Ray Allen was drafted ahead of Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash, right? Would you trade? If you have Ray Allen, would you trade him to the Lakers to get Kobe Bryant?
At that both them, but when them guys when Ray Allen was down there in Seattle.
No, so say 2 years in, would you trade second year Ray for second year Kobe?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But that Jerry West was a visionary with that. But what I saw from Ray Allen in Seattle, people who don't know need to go take a look at what Ray Allen was in Seattle. Ray Allen wasn't just a shooter. Ray Allen was doing it all.
He was an athlete. He was from South Carolina. Remember, he played in Sumter.
Yeah.
We saw him in high school.
From South Carolina.
We saw him in high school. So we know Ray. But the thing is if I ask myself that, Uncle Freezy, would you trade Ray Allen for Kobe Bryant? Yes. You know why? Because Kobe Bryant is a generational talent, right? They play the same position, right? One dude is a top 3 player at his position all time, and the other dude is top 12 at his position all time.
You know what Kobe became, Freezy? Kobe became what every front office looks at, and when they're projecting a guy to be that dude, and they hit on him.
Right.
But a lot of times they gamble and they don't hit. So I would have went with the known at that time, and it wouldn't have been wrong if anybody said, "Hey, Ray Allen in them first few years, would you have kept Ray Allen over Kobe?" If somebody said, "Yeah," I wouldn't have been mad with him. You know, but the thing is, people look at the end of career, look at what they did, but you got to look at where they worked. And Ray Allen was that dude.
Ray Allen was good. But what I'm saying,
even Eddie Jones for the Lakers was a beast. When they moved Eddie Jones, I was like, "Whoa, that guy."
Oh, light skinned Eddie Jones, the light skinned dude, right?
One with the
Eddie
Lakers.
Jones. Oh, Eddie Jones before Kobe. When Kobe came, him. Yeah.
Eddie Jones was an all-star, 2-way player. So it's all about having foresight and be willing to make that move, man. And shout out to Jerry West. That solidified it for me with him.
Well,
let's think about Eddie House.
The reason why I say that is because you mentioned Grimes when I mentioned that we don't have a generational talent. Like you would rather hold on to you would rather hold on to the known as opposed to gambling on the
generational.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But I say this easy. We ain't never
can't win a championship, LeBron. You can't win a championship without generational talent, man.
If I gotta move anybody, man, to take a shot with what I've seen with this team for the last, man, ever since I was a kid, ever since I was 17, 18 years old, last 30 years, I'm gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna have to take a gamble. I'm gonna have to try something new, man. I'm not gonna keep digging in people's trash can and bringing players here that's over the hill and ready to quit, getting that last check.
I like that.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
He said, "I'm not digging nobody's trash cans."
Right. And so the thing that I'm getting at is we don't have that guy. We don't have a young Kevin Garnett on this team. There's no young Kobe. There's no young Shaquille O'Neal. Right. There's no young Penny Hardaway on this. There's no young.
It's different era. It's different era and brought up seeds for these players and individuals.
Okay, Chop. For your era, I'll name somebody. There's no John Morant on this roster. Right? There is no Donovan Mitchell on this roster right now. There's no young player.
No Jokic. No.
There's no Jokic. There's no young Giannis. And for those that say, well, we should hold out hope over the next 3 to 5 years to see what we got. I'm telling you that if you do that and miss, guess what you have to do at the end of those 3 to 5 years? Start your search all over again.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what we've been doing for how many years?
Right. That's my point. That's my point, Chop. Because I know you got a Torrey Murray jersey in your closet. Because Torrey Murray came up here and he flashed a little bit, and y'all were like, in 5 years, Torrey Murray gonna be an all-star. I think Torrey Murray gonna be. And then there was the Langston Galloway thing, and then also there was the Tony Douglas thing. Yeah, Tony Douglas, he's a great defender, man, and his shot when his
Tony
shot
Douglas. Wow, yeah.
And so we do this all the time for guys like Grimes. We like, yo, Grimes
and Dotson. Remember Damian Dotson?
Grimes is going to be a multiple-time All-Star, but you don't know that yet. And if it don't pan out, then what? Then you start all over. What I'm saying is take a shot on these guys that are booming. I would rather take a shot on Jalen Green than take a shot on Quentin Grimes, right? And I know people are going to say, well, of course, because Jalen Green went at the beginning of the draft and such. What I'm saying is even where we pick, we still don't have, because listen, every guy at the top of the draft don't pan out, and you can always find guys late in the draft. Jokic wasn't even a first-round pick. Jokic wasn't a first-round pick, right?
Many other players.
Jimmy Butler was picked 30th.
Manu Ginobili,
NFL, man. It's the same thing in the NFL. Most of the rosters are made up of guys who are not first-round picks.
Right. So So what I'm saying is I'm not saying that Grimes is not going to be a good player, right? What I'm saying is don't put Grimes in that spot and then start searching for something else because you think Grimes solved the puzzle. Right? Grimes didn't solve the puzzle. I think McBride and Grimes are pieces to the puzzle that help us get further down the road later on as we get better. But I still have to search for my guy, even if it calls. And I hate to say it because I love Julius Randle, but even if I have to trade Randle to take a shot on finding a generational talent, I have to do that. And if I get that generational talent and Tom Thibodeau says one word out the way to my generational talent, he going to. You know what I'm saying?
Freezer, you talk about taking chances. That's why I said it a few days ago when we was on here. I already told y'all my stance on Julius Randle. I like what he done for this team the last second half of the season. But I'm telling you right now, I'm sending Julius Randle back to New Orleans, and I'm taking a chance. Like we talk about taking a chance, I'm taking a chance on Zion. Period. I wouldn't even think twice. And it's not because he's from South Carolina. It's because of looking at what he is when he's on the floor. He's a difference maker, and that's the difference with Zion. The guy is a difference maker.
Randall's attitude is always it's going to be a hindrance on this team. I'm telling you, you're going to see it.
That's a problem, yes.
It's not.
Randall's attitude. His attitude.
I don't care. Sorry, Mafia. I don't really give a crap. But I'm just telling you.
Matter of fact, I'll drive to New Orleans to go pick up Zion.
It's going to spread like a virus in that locker room for the next bunch of years while he's still going to be here. He's just going to be a problem.
You know, Freezy, you did something.
He's like a clogged toilet. He affects the offense. He's going to affect it. I'm telling you, he's got a bad attitude. I don't want that on my team.
And I don't hate.
That's that cancer. Yes, I agree with that. It's not his fault, but remember, his wife also went out. CP from Knicks Fan TV.
But guess what? He has to come home to her, and he's going to bitch about stuff.
Hey, fellas, come on, man.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, no cursing.
Let's just stay off the known.
Yeah, his family and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's just stay off that.
He's so emotional. He's so emotional. His attitude.
No, that's not.
Let me say, all right, hold on, guys.
What
Freezy said something I thought was very important. If Julius stays, Tom's going.
Yeah.
And if Tom stays, Julius might go. That was very important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to separate.
And because it hasn't worked, especially this season. So if the administration does stay, I can see that as being a very realistic decision they would have to make. And you already know how this game goes. You know they're getting rid of Tibbs before they get rid of Randall, especially that he's $100 million investment. So
man, don't make me. I tell you this. I agree with you 100%. First year of that contract, man. But if they call New Orleans and Zion already put out them notions telling them, say, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not signing your contract. There's only one team I want to go to, and that's New York. If he pull a James Harden, Julius Randle is gone. I would make it happen in a heartbeat.
I like Randall. I want him to stay.
And Randall is our best player, by the way.
McBride isn't good when being drafted. McBride isn't good when being afraid under Tibbs. I can see that. I can see that where Paris Duggan is coming from. You know what I'm saying? McBride is a good one being afraid under Tibbs. Tibbs does seem like he does intimidate, so to speak, certain players. And it does seem like the young ones.
But isn't the staff on the Knicks with talent acquisition in question?
Everything. It's everything. It's everything. The front office down to the coach. It's everything. So they got to start with the front office. If they don't correct that, you're going to be making stupid deals like we always do.
Okay.
Hey, how many draft pick we got next year? Anybody know?
I think
we got like 3.
What we got? What is it? 12 or something in the next 7 years, or 14? Something?
Yeah, for the next set in 12 years, we got like 14. So we got like 3, 4, 6, 8 every year. I don't know.
All yesterday went over the draft picks that the front office has made, and there were blunders every which way for the last 20 years. You're going to tell me I have confidence and I'm supposed to be happy and I'm sulking? Well, too bad. I am, because I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of being a laughing stock on TV, on the shows and ESPN. They mock us as Knicks fans. It gets tiring after after 20 plus years. Come on, how much more?
Freezy, I like Freezy point, man. Freezy is forward thinking, and Freezy tired of being sitting back on his hands, and I think that's pretty much the fan base right now. We tired of sitting on our hands, man. If we're gonna swing for something, we need to swing for something heavy, man. So
nobody's been smart in
that
that front office at all, Ron. There hasn't been anybody smart in that front office make a smart move.
But we've gone over this.
Horrible.
Yeah, we've gone over this.
We know that's in question. We know that.
Yeah, I know.
We've gone over this with Freezy, and it's good to hit home runs, and you want to get the best product available, but you have to understand too that, according to what we have in the treasure chest right now, there's not a lot of teams that are demanding what's in our treasure chest.
No.
So what's called is that we would have to overcompensate in order to get these things in which we want. And that's why it's kind of difficult, because you don't want to throw all your chips into something and then you only end up with 2/5 of the pie. And then in order for you to make up the rest, you're going to have to go ahead and not throw these high contracts to guys that you're probably going to have to get out of the G League or journeyman and stuff like that. And then how many years are you wasting and being competitive, maybe making it to a first or second round, not being right on the draft board to get the picks, and not being able to get the guys in because your cap is too damn high.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to think about all those things.
You're going to have to trade away to get somebody elite, an acquisition that you always talk about, D. Giving up some of the young guys that we do want to keep here to get somebody elite. It's probably going to have to happen that way.
Right.
You got to give to get. You got to give to get. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying to y'all that what I'm saying to y'all is those.
Hey, I'm gonna highlight y'all, man.
Later on.
All right,
bro. Hey, be easy, bro. Hey, so the thing I'm getting at is our guys are not as valued as what we puffed them up to be. Right. So we look at Miles McBride as in 3 years he's going to be Kyle Lowry. NBA teams are looking at Miles McBride like a second round pick point guard who can't play point guard in the NBA yet.
Right.
And it's no knock on McBride, because ideally he can be both, but right now he is not both. Right now he's a second round pick point guard that really can't play. That can't initiate offense in the NBA yet. There's no harm in that. The dude's a rookie. In 2 to 3 years, can he be that other thing, that other version of himself? Yes. But right now, you're not. But an NBA team is not going to trade for what they think a guy will be in 3 years. They're going to trade for what they think the guy is right now. Can he help me win today? Right? They won't trade for a second round pick with potential, because in all likelihood, they can just draft a second round pick with potential.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's all I'm saying about our young guys. Let's not say Obi Toppin is going to be Amari Stoudemire once he gets a point guard, because right now he is a draft bust, and nobody is going to give us a first round pick for Obi Toppin thinking that he's going to turn into Amari Stoudemire.
There's too many question marks. You don't know.
Yeah. Only Knicks fans think that. Only Knicks fans think Quentin Grimes can make multiple All-Star appearances. If other teams had thought Quentin Grimes can make multiple All-Star appearances, guess what? he would have been drafted higher. Multiple teams passed on him, right? The multiple passed on him for a reason.
He's a shooter, though.
But he's a shooter. But we don't need shooters no more, Chop. We need makers.
Remember, Alpha Payne can't shoot, so at least we got him. I'm joking. Sorry.
Right. I feel you about the love for Grimes. Grimes is going to be a good player. But to what degree, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, absolutely. You know
so we know that about Obi already? It's only a season and a half, really. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Obi
trash. Contracts of players that we have on the team that are blocking the way of the young guys. I mean, you got the Noels who never played, and you got all these other contracts, these big contracts that nobody wants that we tried trading at the deadline. And Ron said, well, they would have took then that trade would have been made if they wanted Fournier or somebody.
Right, and I'll give you, and D'Angelo, I'll give you an example. You know what happened? The Knicks offered Toronto R.J. Barrett for the number 4 pick.
No.
Yes, they did. They offered R.J. Barrett to Toronto for the pick that Toronto picked that, so the Knicks could get Scotty Barnes, and Toronto turned it down.
Right.
So you couldn't even get it.
I didn't know that.
You couldn't even get a top 5 pick for your second best player. Right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? When we mention these things like, oh, the Fournier contract is easy to move. Nah, bro.
He's got 3 years left, right? I mean, come on. On his contract right there. So this is crazy. And he got Noel's got a 3-year, 4-year deal, whatever he's got. Burks, who's got a I mean, and you got to get rid of these guys too. And in my book, you got to get rid of them. You got to figure a way to get rid of them for next season's team. I don't want Burks back. I don't want Noel back. I mean, but nobody. What are you going to do? You can't just waive everybody.
Right. No, you can't just. Yeah, you can't throw money away. Because that's what you'll be doing. You'll be dumping assets for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
You as a team that needs assets are throwing assets away.
Right. You got to get a sucker out there that's going to, like, the brainiacs that we have in the front office. You got to
the ideal situation would be something like trade Evan Fournier for Taylor Horton-Tucker, right? And THT.
That'd be nice.
And THT would not be the long-term solution for the Knicks, but he is more appealing of an asset than Evan Fournier, right? You dumped your money. You got Taylor Horton. Now you can include THT in deals to upgrade at other places. Meanwhile, when he's playing with you, he's productive on the court, right? You trade Alec Burks to Denver for a Bones Nyland, whatever it's Nyland.
Yeah, Bones Nyland. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you make small moves, right? And meanwhile, you're accumulating more attractive assets. And now you can trade Bones and THT in a trade together to upgrade talent somewhere else. You know what I mean? So the same thing with Noel. To trade Noel for Jackson Hayes, right? And while Jackson Hayes is, you're like, Noel and Jackson Hayes is the same thing. No, not really. Jackson Hayes is younger. You know what I'm saying? And you can always trade a Jackson Hayes, a THT, and a Bones all in one deal to get another player. Right? So that's what I'm thinking the front office should do. Now, in terms of should we trade Randall, what I'll say to this about the trade, the Randall thing.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Because Sherman, I'm not a Randall hater. I like him. Go ahead. Sorry.
I like Randall, right? I like Randall. And I won't trade Randall unless I'm winning the trade.
Right.
I'm not dumping Randall, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I have to win the trade because ultimately, even with all the peripheral stuff, Julius Randle is a 20-10 borderline all-star. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that's where we are.
Yeah. Right? We trade him because of his attitude.
No.
Crazy. Don't forget, we got to put that in too.
Stafford.
Because of his attitude.
Stafford, that's not what I said. I said the complete.
No. I know
No,
that.
but
I know that.
Staff
I'm
is
just
saying,
messing with you. I'm messing
but
with
Freaky
you.
Staff
I'm
is
messing with
saying
you.
his attitude also plays a part.
Y'all stomping up my point. Y'all stomping up my point. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. The thing is if you want to trade Julius Randle, right? Regardless of what the peripheral stuff is, right? What I'm saying is trade Randle for a high upside guy that can help you build towards the future. But like for instance, I would take Danilo Gallinari's contract on. I would do Randle for Danilo Gallinari and Onyeka Okongwu in a summer that Mitchell Robinson may be walking out the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
In
saying?
case. In case he's walking out the door.
So if you get Okongwu, immediately he'll be your starting center if Mitch leaves, right? Right?
Right.
And if Mitch stays, Okongwu can still be your backup.
Okay.
Right? And
he'll be cheap too.
And he's going to be cheap for the next 3 seasons?
Yep.
The next 2 seasons. And Gallinari's contract will be coming off the books at the end of the season. So not only did you get rid of salary, not only did you get rid of Randall's salary, you got rid of Gallinari's salary, and you got a young bouncy center who can put.
And we got cap space.
And that can play center, that can play the pivot in today's.
Get that to Sarah.
Yeah. So Freezy. So to answer your question, as far as should we trade Randle, I think it's circumstantial. It depends what we're getting back, what the situation we are with the team. Right. Is there a new administration? Is there a new coach coming in? So how about we table that as to be discussed?
Right. No, but I admitted that it's circumstantial. That's why I said that's why I gave all the caveats.
I know.
Right. I know. So I gave all the caveats in the Randle trade. If all things equal, if you're asking me to trade Randle for Sabonis straight up, no, I'm not doing it. Right? Because some people will say, well, they're about the same player, and the thing is why give up a ham sandwich for ham between 2 slices of bread? It's the same thing.
Well, one's cheaper and younger, and he's a better teammate. So
well, yeah, that's the.
I'm just saying you wanted to throw the differences.
But the tertiary stuff, I didn't want to, and you know what I'm saying, didn't want to get into the peripheral stuff because I believe there are jerks all around the NBA. In my
of course,
opinion.
there is.
If you've ever been in a work situation in an office space, you understand that there are going to be some people at work that are just going to be jerks, and you're just not going to like them.
Right.
That's just life, bro. That's life. No matter what job you go to. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be sometimes you may have been the jerk.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
nobody in the NBA's attitude is perfect. I never said that. Just a lot of things that got overemphasized this year. I just can't. It just bothers the hell out of me.
No, hey, so D'Angelo, I'm not picking on what you're saying, bro.
No,
I'm just speaking in general terms. That's all, man. Like I ain't picking. Like Jay, I think Jay might have thought when he was talking about just run the pick and roll 1,000 times a game. I wasn't picking on him. I was picking on what I was just pointing out the
concept of it. Right.
Yeah. So, but the thing is if you're going to trade Randle, man, you have to win the trade, right? Because you're taking a chance on the things that you're bringing back might wind up being it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. You might trade for a guy, he might be worse than Randle. Now what?
Yeah, and you lose the trade.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Right. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not disagreeing with D'Angelo what he's saying about Randle. I'm just saying that in general terms, we have to keep our options open. Because for one, we finally hit on the Julius Randle scenario, right? Because before Julius Randle, and I know I have to turn into Gandalf right here, but before Julius Randle, bro, we had Quincy Acey. We thought he's coming here, he's going to be a star in New York. Wrong. Derek Williams, the number 2 pick in the draft. Oh, Derek Williams was a top 2 pick in the draft. Wrong. Michael Beasley, number 2 pick in the draft. Michael Beasley can score against anybody. Wrong. Bobby Portis. Wrong. Julius Randle. Ding, ding, ding. He comes here and we hit with Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that that everybody should be in love with Julius Randle. Right. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is look at his true value. You know what I'm saying? Look at his true value and then try to get true value plus when you trade him. And if you can't get true value plus for him, then keep him because ultimately you still keep true value.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's all. That's all it is. So I got another question. I got one more, and then I got to get out. I got to get out of here. Right.
I was going to give an RJ thing real quick.
All right,
Crap.
all right. Well, hold on to that then. Let's do that, and I'll say my question.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you still got a couple more, right?
2 more.
Okay, you got 2 more. Okay, that's cool. All right, real quick. I was analyzing this RJ Barrett situation, right? And I asked myself a question, and I said, out of the 20 teams that are in the playoffs and are playing in contention, right? Would RJ Barrett be a third option on those teams? Right? So I started going down the list. Right? So at first, I went with Miami. Do you think RJ Barrett would be a third option in Miami?
How much do we like? How much do we like Tyler Hero?
Well, not even Tyler. You also had Kyle Lowry too, and you got Oladipo coming back,
and Jimmy Butler,
and Bam
Adebayo.
Yep.
No, let's move on. That's easy.
Okay, good, nice. Milwaukee Bucks.
No.
Okay. Philadelphia 76ers.
No.
Good. Chicago Bulls.
No.
Good. Boston.
Third player on Boston. Yes, he'd be the third player on Boston.
So you rather have him than Derek White?
Yes. RJ Barrett? Yes.
Okay, no problem. Cleveland Cavaliers. Garland. Yes. Okay, hold on. Garland, Allen, Mobley, and Karis LeVert.
Yeah. And I was counting Sexton too.
Count Sexton into that.
Yeah, no. No.
Okay, good. Toronto.
Yes, I think Toronto needs a RJ Barrett.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Let's hold the phone. So, RJ Barrett would be an option over either Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., or Scotty Barnes.
And OG Anunoby. Don't forget OG.
Yeah, and that was a good one. I forgot about him. He will be a third option over those guys?
I think his play style pushes him up the pecking order. I think his ultimate super aggression. I think it would be, yeah.
Okay. More than Scotty Barnes. That's a tough one because you're going to take away the option of Scotty for RJ
or OG. Like one of these dudes minutes are going to decrease. They have Gary Trent also, right?
Averaging 20 points a game on very efficient basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
And also,
would that trade even happen?
No, but it's not a trade.
Yeah, it's not a trade.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, my bad.
So you have Fred VanVleet, you have Pascal Siakam. Is RJ a better option than those two?
Fred VanVleet, Pascal, OG, Scotty, Trent. No.
Okay, good.
No.
Brooklyn.
Third option? No.
Okay. Atlanta.
Third option? Yes.
So him over DeAndre Hunter?
Yes.
Okay, I can see that. I'm
scoring only. If you're talking about defense and all-around play, I would prefer DeAndre right now.
Okay, right? So that's why I prefer DeAndre because I'm thinking overall. I already have scorers.
Okay.
Because don't forget, when we have this question, right, our third option is not necessarily always your third scoring option. Your third option could also be your most impactful player.
You're talking about, and would RJ be their third best player?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Charlotte.
Oh, wait. D. in the super chat, Nick G says something. Oh, it's right there. All right, go ahead.
But how about Maxey though, Nick? Would you take RJ over Maxey?
No, you want to take RJ over Tobias either.
And that one could be debatable, but I think the one that you got to draw the line on is with Maxey. I would have Maxey over RJ in a day.
Yeah, you can't. Tobias Harris and RJ Barrett is not even up for this. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close. RJ, hey, man, come on, man.
Okay, that's fine. Phoenix Suns.
No, come on.
Memphis Grizzlies. I think I go through the list. With me, I know some of them was like, yeah, of course, but Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
Over who?
Over everybody. I would go. No, I can't go over everybody.
Yeah,
because I can't go with him over Jaren Jackson.
Right, and you're going to take him over Desmond Bane in the second year?
Yes.
Averaging 18 points a game, probably the most improved player in the league, shooting efficiently, can handle the basketball, doesn't commit too many turnovers.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about Brandon Clark, even though he's coming off the bench.
No, but he doesn't have the ball like Desmond, though.
No, but he impacts the game in a positive way.
Okay. Off limited minutes.
Yeah, but he does. And for instance, if we were getting production like that from Obi, where would this team be?
Oh yeah, a totally different conversation.
Right.
Okay, I see your point. Good point. Okay. What about Golden State? We already know.
No.
Utah. Does he get minutes over Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson?
Yes.
Okay. I'm willing to flow with you on that one. Dallas Mavericks. This one should be a yes, easy. They have Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They also have Hardaway Jr. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of stubbed on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if right now if RJ is playing better than the small point guard they have, Brunson. I don't know if RJ is playing better than him right now.
I got you. Okay. Denver Nuggets.
No.
Okay,
Next.
good. Minnesota.
No. Next, easy.
LA Clippers. With Kawhi and Paul George there, of course. That was an interesting one.
You're gonna bring White Falcon in here. He's gonna talk about a PJ.
White Falcon will be okay.
Because it's not even about Paul George and Kawhi. It's Reggie Jackson. Yes.
Right. Or Marcus Morris or something of that nature. Right. Yeah.
You take RJ over them.
Okay. How about Lakers?
So RJ over Westbrook. Yes, of course. That's easy.
New Orleans Pelicans.
And so the thing is,
Brandon Ingram.
No. The thing with the Lakers thing is of course you don't take RJ over LeBron or AD. It's
of course.
you take RJ. You don't
over
take RJ
Westbrook.
over LeBron or AD. Is it? Do you take RJ over Westbrook
Right.
to be the third best player?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to.
Okay, no problem. And especially how he's played this season.
Right.
You ain't gonna get much pushback there. Okay, New Orleans Pelicans.
McCollum, Zion, Brandon
And Ingram. Yeah.
No, RJ.
Okay,
RJ's
good.
not the third best player on that team.
Okay, so out of the 20 teams I just named, right, about 17 to 18 of them, he would not be the third option.
Okay.
So it made me ask this question. If RJ has a good season, I'm not saying I would do this. I'm just proposing the alternatives.
Okay.
If RJ was to have a better season than this year, not like dramatically, but it's just better, right? Would you sign him to the contract of the extension, right? Because you could sign him next year. You don't have to do it this year.
No.
Would you sign him to the extension, or would you get rid of him in the trading deadline and get some juicy pieces for him for 23 draft, 24 draft?
What pick is it?
I'm getting first round, sir.
No, you gotta tell me the range. You gotta tell me the range.
Oh
Because
no, if I'm giving you a guy that I could potentially put the ball in his hand, right? And I'm going to sign a max contract for him, I would expect some first round picks back of return that are top 10 protected.
top 10 protected. I wouldn't want those. I would want the top 10s to come my way and not their way. Like I don't want
Okay, so that's what it means. Okay, I thought top 10 protected meant that I get the pick in the 1 to 10 range no matter what. That's what I understood that to me.
No, top 10. Oh, you only put protections on them when you want to keep the picks.
Okay.
You feel me? Like if it falls in the top 10, I'm keeping it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
but to answer your question, it would definitely have to be around the 1 to 10 range.
Yeah, it's got to be. And it's got to be for me to trade RJ Barrett without getting a player in return. I have to get 2 top 10 picks and at least a second. Right. And I know that sounds like a lot, but RJ Barrett legit played in a terrible offense in New York where he couldn't showcase his talent. He's a top 3 talent, right? His draft status says it all. And by the time we do this, he'll only be 22 years old.
Yep.
Right. So I have to get for RJ, I have to get 2 top 10 draft picks and a second or so. Right. And so I know that means that I am super high on RJ. Guess what? I am super high on RJ. Is there a bias? Is there a bias here? Yes. And I'm not saying that let me bring in my guy. Hold on for a quick second. Where's his? Yo, that dude is fire.
Yo,
salute, Dr. Allen. Salute.
Salute, gentlemen. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Chilling.
This afternoon.
Good.
Yeah, it is afternoon.
I hear D talking some good stuff, and the chat is on fire. I'm here to throw some more gasoline. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So you asked me what would I consider trading RJ Barrett if a team gives me true value plus something, right? Yes.
Wow.
If I could get like for instance, the car I drive, a dude wants to swap cars. He's like, yo, I'll give you the same exact car with the same miles and everything exactly the same, except it's a different color, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, what's the point? I like my car. If I'm getting the same thing, what's the difference? I'm just keep what I got. But if he offered me that same car and he got a mocha in it and she got a Coach bag full of money, I'm like, hey, now, so yeah. I mean, I dig it. I understand that the exercise here is RJ Barrett equal to what Knicks fans puff him up to be.
Yeah.
No. Right? Because
if there's elite talent in 23 and 24, can you afford to trade him in order to have the chance to get something elite?
I love RJ Barrett, man. I love RJ Barrett. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love RJ Barrett. But if you're telling me that I can get the number one, say for instance, I can get the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years in a row if I trade RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is as good as gone. Right?
And what's going to happen to RJ Barrett in the same 2-3 years later, and he improves his game and becomes a superstar.
Right. But I don't care because
right.
he is the opponent. I don't care.
But my question to Chop is that when we've done that, how many times has that happened?
Yeah, that's not rare.
Many times, though.
Name me a player that we've let go under those type of circumstances on their rookie contract, and they've gone somewhere to be superstars.
I'm not gonna say superstars or not on their rookie contract, but they actually won a chip.
Wait, Chop,
became better.
Moving the goalpost, Chop.
You just said Chop, you said that like 40 seconds ago.
I know, but I don't know. I don't want to get rid of RJ. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with you, Chop.
I'm gonna stay in the background. I'm gonna stay in the background.
I'm with Chop. I ain't gonna say I have an emotional attachment to RJ Barrett. And I admit that. But if I get something unreasonable, if I can, like what you mentioned, if I can get something unreasonable for
But everything sounds ill-advised. It just sounds like, okay, we could think about everything. We saying all this stuff is so great. This is what we fantasize and what we doing. But the front office and they doing their thing, even though we question what they doing, it's in question. But it's just like some of the stuff, we just fantasizing fantasy basketball, NBA 2K. But this is a great point. Everything that D makes is very outstanding. It's good. It keeps us on his toes. It keeps us debating and conversating and talking about it. But I don't know. We gotta be realistic though.
I am being realistic with you.
I know, but you are super realistic. It's just like, you analyzing everything. It's just, you got the chat on fire. I know the chat's like,
Right. And so the thing I would say is I will maintain my stance, right? My stance has been, and it will always be, and at least I think so, is the Knicks need to go out and get a generational talent or two in order to consider themselves contenders.
And what you consider generational talent? Is that something that you build as homegrown, or generation talent like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan? That's a LeBron. That's generational talent, right?
Well, think. Okay, so let's say LeBron. LeBron is not homegrown, right? LeBron right now has a Lakers jersey on. He won a championship with the Lakers.
Yeah, he came in the league spectacular already, right?
Right,
but he didn't win in the beginning.
He also won a championship with the Miami Heat. Right, and then he went back to Cleveland and won a championship. Right, so he wasn't homegrown to Cleveland. I mean, to the
he had to go there to get the championship.
Right.
Okay.
And so give me another example. Chris Middleton's not generational. Let's say
it doesn't take away from him being generational though, just because he got it in Miami.
Yeah, and Chris Paul, right? Chris Paul's a generational talent, and he had won the championship.
Right, because you see, would you say generational talent? That what that entitles, what that means is you only get a certain person like this in a certain generation, like your Chris Paul. You will get a point guard like that. You would get a LeBron James. You would get a Kobe. You get a Jordan.
A John Morant.
John Morant. That is a generation. Steph Curry. These are generational talents. I don't think we're using that word accordingly in the conversation that we're discussing right now. I don't know.
No, that's because we keep bringing up Quentin Grimes and Miles McBride.
Listen, he's not an Allen Houston. People, they like he looks like Allen Houston, so they're like, oh, he's gonna be the next Allen Houston. No, but I'm just saying that how we using generational talent in this conversation doesn't. I don't know, but
Chop, when you ask me about generational talent, I always mention Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Right. I always mention Kobe Bryant, not because I'm a fan of Kobe Bryant and his game or the Lakers or whatever.
But you still are though. You still are a fan of his game and his talent, but he's still a generational talent.
I respected his game and his talent. Right. I'm a fan of Clyde Frazier. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that's a generational talent too at that era.
Right, and my point is
let's get back to focus here.
But no, I got you. But
yeah, go ahead.
What I'm saying is whether it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or John Morant, a generational talent is a once in a lifetime player.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
For a generation.
Right. Therefore the term, right? And so if I had a shot at getting a player or two like that in exchange for RJ Barrett, I'd be crazy not to do it, is what I'm getting at. Because I don't think RJ Barrett is going to be that. I just think RJ Barrett is going to be a really, really, really good Knick for a long time.
He's going to be a real good player.
Right.
So, okay. So my stance on the whole RJ Barrett thing is this. I don't believe we'll be able to be compensated extravagantly if we try to get rid of him before we have to sign him. So I think we're not going to have a choice but to sign him. But I think that's a good thing because although he might not be the player that's going to bring us to the promised land, we'll at least have somebody at the helm that at the end of that contract, he'll just be entering his prime years.
Right.
And I feel that RJ Barrett is the type of guy where if I go ahead and I bring somebody that he knows is way more talented than him and may have that generational in him, I think RJ Barrett has no problem moving to the side and knowing his place.
And or taking his talents to the next level, not their next level. Like I think RJ, if you surround him with better talent, he gets better.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting with that with the RJ. I don't want to trade RJ because I believe if you go out and get that generational talent, RJ Barrett is a super two, right? Is a super two.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like if our backcourt was RJ and John Morant,
forget about it.
So,
yeah.
So I think that's something that should be considered if you want to move your chess pieces in the right way, right? You definitely want to keep a guy like that because he's going to be your best available after next season.
But he also is going to be a player that's going to bring other players that want to come play with him.
Well, that's not promised. But what we're saying is that even if, however we get those players, right, whether we draft them, right, whether we develop them or whether we acquire them, it's still good to have a basis of him there because at the same time, if better talent comes around, he's not afraid to move to the side and say, okay, all right,
foundational pieces.
I'll go ahead and do this and I'll do that. And
you saw him do it in year 1 and 2. You saw him do it in year 1 and 2 with Randall. When he was told Randall was the better player, not even if Randall was the better player or not, but he was told that, and he acquiesced to that second best player. You feel me?
Yeah. So even though, here's my point of the whole thing, Freezy, right? Even though that RJ is not a best 3 option on many teams,
right,
he's still the best that we have available, and we should definitely sign him, and he'll be a good piece to bring along, especially if we get pieces that are more talented and have a higher ceiling in him. He'll play very nicely with them.
Yeah, man, I'm so tired right now. I can barely keep my eyes open, man.
I
gotta get me.
Go ahead, guess we'll wrap it up.
You need some coffee?
No, I need a point guard. Yeah, I need a point guard. Hey, everybody, make sure y'all check out Vibes and Stuff live in the mornings, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. ish, with your man Chuck Allen, with the sidekick Uncle Freezy. We do the morning show in the morning where we just talk about life and all types of stuff. Ron, the other morning we was talking about down south. Oh, Chuck, was that this morning when we was talking about down south life?
Oh, that was this morning.
How grandma get up and cook breakfast for the house, and it's like 13 or 14 people, and she get up and make that blackberry preserve for them steaming hot biscuits.
Man.
Boy. Salmon patties and grits.
Hey, Freezy, I'm gonna tell you, my grandmother had 14 kids, man. 12 of them still living.
Wow.
And man, I remember when I got to Fort Drum, and I was going back to Fort Drum on leave. My grandmother told me, "Come by the house. I got something for you." I goes by the house. She got a whole pan full of homemade biscuits from scratch. I took them things back to Fort Drum, man. I was eating so good for a whole week. Hey, when you go to grandma's house, ain't no cereal being eaten.
No,
you getting fed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Uncle Ron, you talk about my mama biscuits?
Something else, or Henny, as we would call her. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Hey, ain't nothing like it, man. This Knicks situation, it's a delicate situation, man. I'm at a point with this team, man. Really, is I want to see something happen, and I just don't want to see anything come through them doors, man. Because we've been having a lot of anything come through these doors, man. The last 20 plus, man. We need a heavy hitter.
Right.
We need something heavy that's gonna get us galvanized, man. because it's an arms race in this league, man. And right now, we only got really one that we homegrown, and that's RJ. That's it, and that's what this organization have failed. Right. Our homegrown talent, man. And I agree with you, Freezy.
Thank you, Ron, for saying that. Thank you.
That edge spot, man. We got to stay away from that edge spot at all costs, man. We always get stuck with that edge spot. I knew G-Man was gonna pop up. I heard him talking no Obi slander.
Uncle Ron, you said that A spot. Uncle Ron, that A spot is Knox and then Obi. That A spot is detrimental to our health.
Hey, man. Hey,
that's the whammy, man. That's the whammy.
I sent you the stuff to the channel. What I want to do, man, for the video is talk about, for one, I want to talk about the greatest running back of all time, and I want to talk about the greatest quarterback of all time, and on that one. And so I want to talk about the greatest point guard of all time, and it may not be who y'all think it is. Right?
I think you're gonna say Clyde Frazier.
I want to say Clyde, but I'll say this: the dude I'm going to inject into the conversation is White.
Who? You say he's white?
He's Rise.
Mr. Pete Maravich.
I ain't gonna say who. I ain't gonna say who yet. I want to see if G-Man is available. So G-Man and I have this channel called Legends, where we just started, everybody. So don't feel excluded if like you ain't been invited to anything yet. It's just so I just got the stuff. Yeah, it's like I just did it over the weekend, and I really didn't have time to push it. But what we're gonna do is eventually have these conversations, like break down who the greatest running back of all time based on analytics. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did they produce on second down and must-have yards? How they produced on third down and must-have yards? How many catches per game did they have? How did their averages increase during the playoffs when teams needed them? Stuff like that. Yep. So and so it's also going to be some F1, some NASCAR. I want to include some boxing and some other things. So all are invited. G-Man and myself, we'll throw the link in the chat before we get out of here. But G-Man, I was going to play your intro, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation.
You good, man? You good?
So sometimes
I don't have that type of personality to where I need that kind of
to get super sensitive if somebody don't play.
I don't need that. So when my face pop up on the screen, people know what time it is.
Okay.
Well, I don't know why everybody sounds loaded.
Bim. But anyway, man, I'm gonna get out of here, right? Because I just need to get some sleep, and I want to go in here and hug my wife for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
I do that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, partner.
Yes, if you need to be uplifted or whatever the case may be, I can send you that snowshoe back there. See
that what?
The snowshoe, right there. That came from Fort Drum, bro.
I know. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Hey,
I'm gonna just say,
Fort Drum go always have a warm spot in my heart, man. That's where I became a man.
It must have been during summertime. It must have been during summer because it couldn't have been during the wintertime.
The best.
Oh, summertime in the $1,000, bro. You can't beat that.
Nah, you can't beat that at all, man. Yeah, Fort Drum, man, always have a special spot in my heart, man.
No doubt. But free
21, I became 21 up in upstate New York, man.
Yeah,
no doubt. No doubt.
So let me use that West Point too, Uncle Ron. Ooh.
Yeah, that was my best deployment, Uncle Chop. We went there, they let us drive our cars, man. We had to train them to cadets. That was my best deployment. From Fort Drum to West Point, it wasn't even 2 hours good.
Right.
They barely 2 hours.
That's a fact.
Right. Hey, so G-Man, just want to say this, man. I appreciate you, man, and others, D Poetic, man, others, Jay Boogie, for being like the backbones of this joint, man, so that we can keep giving this dope content. A lot of times we get a little flack because we don't think linear, like we don't think in line like everybody else. Right. But who cares? What we want to do is make sure that we have robust conversations centered around facts. That's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes. Sometimes the leader of the pack gets the most bullets, right?
Absolutely.
So it is what it is. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm gonna go in here and get me a snack, maybe some baked green beans. D Poetic, you need
Did
to
you say baked beans?
I'm sorry, some baked green beans. I'm sorry.
Oh, baked green beans.
Yeah, what I do is I take green beans raw and toss them in vegetable oil and then lay them out on a sheet tray and then hit it with a little bit of
salt and pepper,
sea salt, a little bit of sea salt.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? And then I just eat them off the tray. Like I don't even use a fork. I just pick them up with my hand.
I feel you.
Yeah,
that's the forks before they made forks.
Yeah. I'm trying to get these trapezius muscles right. And work on some other stuff, man. G-Man, you need to get on that push-up tree, bro. 30, 50, 30.
I'm going to tell you what G-Man about to go do. G-Man about to go downstairs right now, get in the refrigerator, get him some cube steak, some mashed potatoes, and some cabbage. That's what G-Man about to do.
Yeah, and I'll send you a new belt next week, okay?
I won't need one. My penis is adjusted, baby.
All right, y'all.
Yo, so you Dean keep the channel.
Keep